Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Samp and Chance. I am your host, Bobby Sampson, and joined with me, as always, my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Mr. Michaels, happy WrestleMania Eve. How are you?
Like you just said, I'm excited, man. It's Christmas for wrestling fans, and we're just getting started. It's Christmas Eve tonight.
Absolutely. This is number two of four of Samp and Chance. Tonight, we're just coming off hot, off, hot off the heels, pardon me, of SmackDown and the Hall of Fame that just ended about 10, 15 minutes ago. Quickly, SmackDown opens up with the Andre Memorial, usually for the pre-show, but I guess they're just going to put it here. Um, One of the things that I just kind of took away from it right away is that Shanky looked really confused standing there at the beginning of the match. I don't know if he was trying to play it off that way or he just wasn't sure what he was supposed to do, but that was kind of interesting. Ziggler and Brood and Finn Balor, they all got entrances. Everyone else was already in the ring to start the show off. Uh, Typical
Yeah,
Battle Royal, Tozawa, kind of just furthering storylines that were already there. But hey, man, your guy won.
I just want to say I like the winner. I'm glad he won. I wish it was on Mania, but I'm glad Madcap went over. I thought he looked good. It was a good
No,
performance.
yeah, they're slowly planting the seeds here for the split here. Corbin did come down and he tried to help out Madcap by holding down the ropes, but him trying to help him almost cost him getting eliminated twice until he left, and then he actually uh, was able to, have some success alone. The finish here though does come when where was it? Right when Ziggler and Rude they were trying to knock out Balor, um, but he came up from behind and knocked them out. So it was just him and Balor at the end, and he got him at the end, just tossed
Yeah,
him out, and that was that. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm really glad for him. I really
me
like
too.
him. Every week I
Oh,
see him, I'm growing to gravitate towards him more and more. And every week he's out there, he's a pretty fun guy.
what a look he's got too, though. That I say it every podcast, but damn, that guy's chiseled. That chest is huge,
Fair enough, man.
man.
Fair enough. So we go straight into a video package for Ricochet's triple threat match, which is coming up next. Los Lotharios against him. So the match is very basically starts out the same way. It's
Yeah,
basically a 2-on-1. They go back and forth. Ricochet has a few moments here and there until the two turn on themselves. But the ending was really cool in this one. Ricochet does retain the title. What I really liked is how he won it. He did his 630 onto Angel, and then he ended up coming right out of that into a recoil, which ended up getting the pin for him over
yeah.
Angel, or sorry, over Humberto. So that was pretty fun.
The way he lands that 630, it's so beautiful. He just does it so effortlessly. It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah, I know it was really sick, and just the way he jumped out of it into the recoil, it was just perfectly timed. Well done.
Yeah.
I really like Ricochet, man. I'm really glad
Oh,
he's
it's
getting his
amazing.
spot right now. Just unfortunate, like I said last time we talked. Both the Intercontinental and the US Championship aren't being defended at Mania. I figure with two nights they'd have a spot for those.
You'd figure they could squeeze it in, wouldn't you
Well,
think?
you would think, but they know more than we do,
Fair enough.
right? So then we get into the video package for Stone Cold and Kevin Owens. I'm really looking forward to this. I think this is going to be the main event
Is that on
for
night one?
Saturday night. It's night one. I think it's going to close the show out.
You don't think it
I,
will be the women's match?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if this segment's going to be as good as they think it's going to be and what it's supposed to be, I don't think you really put anything behind it, right? This is where Stone Cold closes out the show, and soaks the canvas with beer.
What do you see happening here? They just come in the ring and talk and start fighting, or what's going to happen?
I think it's basically going to come out, start out with the talk and just insults back and forth, and I think it's just going to be a brawl. I
I
don't
like
think
that.
it's I don't think it's really going to be a match. I don't think there's really going to be any structure. I think it's just going to be in the corner, punches, kicks, you know, stomp a mud hole here and there, kind of a deal. Always
In
going
the
to get a
words of
bit
Jim,
of offense.
in the words of
Yeah,
Jim Ross, a good old fashioned slobber knocker.
there you go, pretty much. Maybe some chairs, maybe this and that, but for the most part, it's going to end up with a couple stunners and him drinking beer to go off the air.
I don't think it's going to be the Budweiser beer. It's going to be that Stone Cold beer.
Yeah, no, I haven't tried it yet, but I'd like to.
I don't know if we can get it in Canada, but if we do, I wouldn't mind getting my hands on it just to have the can.
No, for sure. It should be I've heard pretty good stuff about it.
Yeah,
But yeah, quickly though, we'll just try to get through the rest of this. Sasha Banks and Naomi then have a match against Zelina and Carmella with the other two teams ringside, that being Natalia and Shayna Baszler and Rhea Ripley with Liv Morgan ringside. Um, I gotta say, man, I mean, Sasha and Naomi won this match, but as tag team champions, they've lost consecutively now for maybe 5 to 6 weeks leading into WrestleMania.
that's interesting.
I almost get the feeling, well, we'll get there, we'll get there. But that's how that match ends. Then you get your Rousey Charlotte package. So really, a lot of this night was really just
Building up for
promoting
tomorrow.
everything. Yeah, you had your spattering of matches and whatnot. Um, Rick Boogs against Jimmy Uso. It was a pretty good match until everyone interfered, and then they turned it into a six-man tag match. That's Finn Balor coming out. All right, sorry, I should probably explain that a little bit better. So Austin Theory comes out during this match to taunt Pat McAfee again, throws a glass of ice and water into his face, into his clothes. McAfee tries to react. Michael Cole playing the guy of reason here, like, hey, don't do it, don't do it. I think there's a stipulation here that McAfee touches him before the match. He'll lose the match, he'll lose the spot on SmackDown. So,
Yeah,
you know, Austin there, he's playing it up really, really well here with all of that. Um, so he's walking away, he's going up the ramp, and Balor comes from behind and attacks him. So I'm kind of thinking this is a storyline going away from WrestleMania after WrestleMania. That
I
could be
think you're
kind of
right on the
interesting
money.
to see too. Yeah, but it
Yeah.
makes me wonder what are you going to do with Damian Priest then? That's weird. But hey, again, so
Damian Priest
they
is not on Mania, is he?
hmm?
Is Damian Priest? He's not on Mania, is he?
Well, that they've been building him up to be a name for the last year. That's the thing. It's just kind of like
Yeah.
they're completely stopping the build. It feels like.
I got a feeling he's going to run some interference this weekend.
Well, should be interesting. Well, there's no matches for him to interfere that would have any value to him.
Maybe start a new feud at Mania or something. I don't know.
Possibly, or the night after. I mean, that's what the night after is, right? It's like the new year of wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, basically it turns into a six-man match then. And the ending here is kind of surprising. Theory gets the victory over Balor.
I like
So
that. Sending Theory into Mania hot. You know what I mean? Coming
it's
off the
kind
win.
of, yeah, yeah, no, 100%. So you just hit him up for the loss then?
I don't know what's going to happen with that match with McAfee. I'm looking forward to that. It's one of my more favorite matches I'm looking forward to.
I'm really looking forward to that match too, especially after what I saw tonight and whatnot, and knowing what McAfee can do because he's
Yep.
done it. Um, you got a guy that you're trying to build, and you got a guy that who's pretty cool on his own. So I mean, what do you do? Like, I don't think either guy would be hurt, but I'm not sure. I
I'm not
really,
sure how it's going to go, but it's going to be a heck of a match. I think Pat McAfee's going to have his Bad Bunny moment, do a crazy move or something like that we're not expecting. So it's going to be great.
yeah, yeah, no, for sure, for sure. The Hall of Fame, not bad actually. I was really impressed with it. I was really, really impressed with the Hall of Fame. Well, you know what? Before we get into that, we should probably finish up with SmackDown. What do you think?
Let's do that.
Okay. So finally, the SmackDown ends with a Happy Corbin talk show where he's talking to his guest, Madcap Moss.
Those guys are
And
great together, man. I love that combo.
they are, man. But I think the joke tonight was a little too far, even by my standards, man. And I'm pretty easy going with most of everything in the world. But even this one was like, I gave out the ooh. So they're going about, and it's kind of interesting. Again, they're planting the seed for a split here. I really see it happening.
Yeah.
Um, you know, they're talking about the title win or the Andre win and whatnot, and Matt Cap's really happy. He's trying to promote it and really, be really happy about it, right? And Corbin's kind of playing it down and saying, "Yeah, I already did that in my rookie year, and this and that." And he goes, "You know what? Tell us a joke. Tell us a joke." And then Matt Cap's, "Oh, okay." And Corbin kind of steps in and goes, "Actually, I got one." He goes, "What's?" Because he stole Angela his sword, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
From Raw. So I mean, he had it in his hand, and he's all, "What does what does Drew McIntyre's mother and his sword have in common?
What did he say?
He lost them both.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's a little harsh,
his
right?
mother
So,
passed on.
his mother passed on. He named the sword Angela after his mother.
Yeah, yeah, that's
I get it to work and everything, but at the end of the day, that even for me, that kind of like, oh wow, that's crazy. That's
pushing. That's a little. Yeah, I'm
that's
not
a
the
little
mo-
too
we're not the
much.
most PC guys, but that's just too. It's yeah, that's tasteless a little, right?
It is, in my opinion, it is. But I mean, they got it passed, and
I
Drew
guess
was okay with it.
I think Drew's gonna smash him tomorrow after hearing that comment. You know what I
Well,
mean?
he came out. He came out and smashed
Mhm.
him. I mean, he tried to smash him anyways. He
But
one
I mean, at
punch.
Mania though, like he's gonna go all out on him. I think.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And ladies and gentlemen, that was SmackDown. The Hall of Fame right after that. You know what? It was really good. I
Mhm.
really enjoyed it. Steiner brothers were the first ones to get inducted. They were inducted by Braun Breaker, who actually is going to be fighting tomorrow on NXT Stand and Deliver.
And that's
Which,
Rick Steiner's son, right?
yeah, yeah, that's Rick Steiner's son. Probably one of the more traditional wrestling type acceptance speeches is kind of all over the place. And Scott Steiner talked about this one time he hung out with the Macho Man, or they were on the road together in upstate New York, and they pulled over by a field of cows. Um, yeah, kind of a weird story where they were trying to see who could get the cows to come over to them, and
Steiner's always
Scott.
been a little bit different of a character.
He did, man. He kind of came out and started off right off the bat with saying, "Listen, this can go really good or it can go really bad when you put a mic in my hand." So,
I
Rick
don't
was
know
there.
about you, but I did like the Steiner brothers, but I've always preferred the dog faced gremlin Rick Steiner over Scott. Just my personal taste. I liked his rawness. I liked his aggressiveness. I always preferred him over Scott.
Yeah, I always liked him too. He was always the quiet one, and he just kind of let his actions speak and the power.
But tougher
And
than a $3 steak, though.
100%. I mean, both guys were kind of out there, but I think he was the more stable of the two
Yes.
later on. Later on.
Yeah. Scott
Um,
got a little loopy as he got older there. I think all those steroids went to his head.
yeah, no, pretty cool. It had a really good pace to it and everything. But out of all the speeches that were delivered tonight, as you'll find out as we go along here, that was probably the most wrestling acceptance speech of the night.
Yeah.
So that went on. Then Charmel comes out. Booker T's out to induct her. I gotta say that was probably one of the best well-spoken speeches I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
Very well spoken.
Well,
She's done a lot.
she's a
Uh,
smart lady.
to be fair, she's done quite a bit. Now you can look at it all and kind of hear about everything and the things that she kind of participated in, the angles that she was involved in and whatnot. Probably not still my first choice for female inductions
No
for this
way.
year or anything like that. But you know what? Fair enough. She's in. Her speech. I was sold. She did a great job. Very well spoken.
Mm-hmm.
You knew the kind of heat that she was going to probably try to come out, or that she was probably going to come out to. Crowd was really cool about it. I mean, there was one point I believe they were saying you deserve it, and the other side, no, you don't. So the back and forth chant.
Yeah.
But you know what? Pretty cool. Then we get right into the Warrior Award with Chad Gaspard. This guy saved his son from drowning in a riptide in the ocean in California. Um, he also stopped an armed robbery by actually doing some wrestling stuff or wrestling moves to break it up.
Yeah, he's a tough dude. I believe it.
Yeah. So while I was watching this, something came up on my phone. So Samoa Joe is officially all elite, by the way.
Okay.
Ring of Honor had a show tonight, that kind of the rebooting show or something like that. But I haven't really looked into the show too much. But apparently he showed up there tonight. So just a
Okay.
quick heads up. So Joe is now officially a part of AEW, who owns Ring of Honor now. So looks like
Good for
everyone.
Joe.
Yeah,
More
I like
promotion.
Joe. I like Joe. I think he'll have better opportunity there.
Yeah.
It's more his type of style and whatnot.
It's more indie feel. Yeah, it's more for Joe.
Yeah. Shad Gaspard, sorry, back there. He was inducted, or his award was accepted on behalf of his son and his wife. Really nice speech, very touching. It's a good
He
guy,
deserves
good.
it. We can
He
question that
deserved
one.
it. Absolutely. We had Vader come out next. His son and his wife came out to accept the award. Really nice speech, very simple, very, what time is it? And his son thanked everyone on stage for providing all the opportunities that his father had, and a lot
One of
of
my
the old.
all-time favorite big men. I love that guy. The way he could do that backflip for a guy
Mhm,
300 pounds back in the
mhm.
90s. That's impressive.
Yeah, yeah. And that basically brings us to the highlight of the night. Uh, ring was set up was really cool. They had basically four looks of the Undertaker on kind of mannequins with the hat and the coat, and this speech was long. It was basically the TED Talk of wrestling acceptance speeches. He didn't stand at the podium. He came out. The first 10 minutes, he didn't say words because the crowd was just cheering.
Yeah.
10 minutes in, he finally said thank you. And first thing he did was say, this is really cool. He goes, for 30 years, I've been the Undertaker. And he thanked the fans for that, for allowing him to do all that. And he goes, now it's my turn to allow you behind the curtain. And he basically went on this amazing speech where he talked about how he started off his career. Um, very, very motivational speech. You know what I'm talking about? Where the guy just has the
Yeah.
head space on and he's just walking around the stage, not really staying in one spot. He's all over the place, just looking in every direction to ensure that he's engaging everyone. And he's just talking about all the steps that he took in his career from the beginning to his family along, and it's all chronological. He's thinking everyone. He's thinking the Godfather when it's this time, the BSK crew, everyone. It was just so much there. So I
What do
love
you,
to talk
what do you
about
think?
it.
What do you think of how Vinny did?
Vinny was amazing too. I mean, he's
Oh,
well
it is.
spoken as well. So I mean, that was the highlight of the night.
And you're not going to see Vince induct anybody else. This is a one-time special deal, which makes it even more special.
No, basically that's the truth, man. It was really, really good. And Taker basically had a theme to it, like there was a basis to it all. Three principles of mental thoughts that he lives with every day. Three things that he reminds himself constantly on an everyday basis. And each concept had a story behind it. One is perception is reality. And he goes into the story of how that came to him and how he was able to remember that and always try to remember that. Another was respect everyone. I'm basically paraphrasing it.
Yeah.
That stems from a time when he was hanging out with his dad, and his dad asked him a question about, how many toes, something along the lines of, no matter how many toes or people you have to step down to get to the top, remember, you're going to have to pass them all when you go back down.
Yeah, that's a
So
good one.
respect everybody throughout your life, which is amazing. And finally, and this is something that he said again, never be content. So there's great stories behind it. I really recommend. I'm not doing it the best justice here in the world. I really recommend everyone getting back there, checking it out on the network or wherever you get your content from. Check it out. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
Beat my
See.
ex, beat my expectations by far. I didn't. To be fair, I didn't have any expectations,
Well,
but
I knew Vince's part would be great. I wasn't sure what Taker was going to do, but you're right on that. It was
yeah,
good.
no, I highly recommend it. In fact, after this, I'm probably gonna go back and watch it again and take better notes because it was really, really good. But that all being said, it's prediction time, and I have my pencil, and I am going to write down Sam and Chance, and we're gonna predict day one or night one of
Good.
WrestleMania. So no in particular order, the Usos versus Shinsuke and Boogs. Who do you think? For this is for the titles.
I'm taking Shinkai, and Boogs. Who you taking?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Nakamura and Boogs as well. I don't
Yeah,
know why. I just feel this is the time.
they
I think
deserve
that
it. They
yeah,
work well together.
no, for sure. Corbin versus McIntyre. I'm gonna say McIntyre just because it's logical.
You know what? You're probably right, but I gotta go. I gotta ride with my boy. Give me Corbin.
You're gonna go Corbin?
Yeah, just because he's my boy, I don't want to bet against him.
Fair enough, man. You're both feeling happy then,
Yeah,
eh?
but you're probably right. But I gotta stick with my. I gotta support my boy.
Okay, so I will go with McIntyre and you will go with Corbin. All right, Becky Lynch against Bianca Belair.
It's gonna be a good match. I'm gonna go with Bianca.
Yeah, so am I. I'm going Belair as well. Just because the story's going on for a long time, and
It's gonna be a
yeah,
hell of a match. It's
it's
gonna be a
gonna be a
great
good
match.
match. I think it's gonna be Belair as well. Dominic and Ray versus Logan Paul, The Miz. Again, based on the build up, the story, and everything else, it's just the same. I think it's gonna be Dominic and Ray. I think, but you know what? I'm gonna go Miz and Logan.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with you on that one. I'm gonna go Miz and Logan. I think the Mysterios might turn on each other here. Start up
That's
that
the
false
thing.
one.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
So we're all both going LM. Hey, all right. Charlotte versus Rosie. I'm going Rosie.
Yeah, I gotta go round the two. Another great match.
And Kofi and Xavier versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland.
Not too excited for this one, which could be okay. I'm gonna go with Kofi and Xavier. Who you got?
I'll yeah, with Big E out and everything, maybe this guy, yeah, I'm gonna go Kofi and Woods too. Kofi and Woods, both of us there. And finally, the match we haven't really talked about too much. Seth Rollins against his mystery opponent. Who do you think is going to win, him or the mystery opponent? I'm going to
Well,
say the mystery opponent.
I want Seth to win, um, but the mystery opponent is probably Cody Rhodes. Cody's gonna take it. He's gonna
Yeah.
date. I can't see him losing.
No. So we're both in agreement. The mystery opponent
That's gonna be fun.
who's been seen at the hotel this week. Well, there's times like this, Chance, where I really wish the internet didn't exist to the extent
Yeah,
that it does.
yeah. Imagine how cool it'd be if we didn't know he just came out of the blue. You know what I mean?
I don't have to imagine. I remember it. There was still, I'm lucky enough to say that I still grew up in a time where we were still surprised in wrestling,
Absolutely. Yeah,
right?
makes the sport special that way, right?
It was, you know, granted there was kayfabe and everything else that was kind of going on with it at the time as well, but being surprised, I miss that in sometimes, I miss that in these kind of, I
Well,
miss
let's
it.
hope.
I miss it at the Royal Rumble and I miss it a lot at Mania or the night after Mania.
Let's
Because
hope Vinny
those
Mac's got a couple surprises up his sleeves for us tomorrow. He might.
Well, who knows, man? I mean, he seems on fire. I think everything to the buildup of this WrestleMania has been pretty good.
Oh yeah, I'm excited
If you
for
think about it, this has been being built since January.
it. Mm-hmm.
So through everything that's kind of gone on to where we are right now, here we are, man. WrestleMania weekend. Um, wow, I'm excited. Night one's coming up here pretty soon. We'll be back with a quick recap of that for you guys as well. And
Yep.
we're just gonna keep going here. So on that note, we'll probably just turn out the lights now and get a
Isn't
little
Stone
shut
Cold
eye.
Owens on tomorrow too?
Stone Cold and Owen is on there too. I don't know if it's something we're gonna predict. I think we already kind of called that one. I think it's gonna close the show. I think the ladies match, I think in terms of matches, both Becky, I think Becky and Belair are going to open the show.
Okay.
Or it'll be um the Usos tag title match.
You think they'll actually go with Austin Owens main, like for the main event, lasting the show like a five? I can't see Austin going more than 5 minutes.
It's gonna be a 15-20 minute segment.
Yeah, I guess with a lot of
Entrances,
talk going on. Yeah,
entrances, talking,
yeah,
right? You're probably gonna get about 10 minutes of work, but in that 10 minutes, it's gonna be so fast.
yeah.
It's gonna be kicks in the corner, this, that, stomping, punching. Owens is probably gonna get a bit in there as well,
Oh yeah, he will.
right? So once all that kind of, this is
The
all
players
in
going
thinking.
everywhere.
This is all, just kind of hypothesizing what could potentially happen here, but this is the way I see it playing out. Austin has to go home. Austin's going to make the crowd go home happy.
In his hometown.
in
Yeah.
his hometown. So you know what the outcome's going to be. Is how do you get there? Segment's going to be about 15 to 20 minutes long at least,
Yeah.
including everything, right? So going home with him is probably the best option. The crowd at home is happy, a crowd in the arena is happy, and no one has to work with beer all over the place afterwards,
That's a good point.
right? A
Yeah.
lot of beer will be spilled at the end of that segment. So if the girls are going to have to fight after that, that's, who I don't think anybody wants to follow that,
Yeah. That's a fair point. I never thought of it that way, but yeah, you could be right.
right? So I think the girls are going to be the bookends for the show, um, with Rousey and Charlotte being the actual main event in terms of matches.
Yeah.
Um, but the rest is all there, man. And then, yeah, so what we'll do, what I suggest should do here, then is kind of wrap it up, call it a night. We'll come back tomorrow night and we will give our predictions for night two of WrestleMania. So on that note, I'm Bobby Sampson.
Chance Michaels.
I want to say thank you to everyone for letting us in your ears and happy WrestleMania Eve or happy WrestleMania Day whenever you hear this. Thank you for choosing us and have a great night. Have a safe day. And we will talk to you guys very soon
And in the
after
words of the great
WrestleMania.
in the words of the great ACDC, for those who download the podcast and watch it, we salute you. Thank you.
Have a great night and stay humble.